You guys are paying attention? Yeah, we're paying attention. Not for you, mostly because the guy that's next to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, how was Nick Saban?
At picking or?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a great question.
I wonder how
I'm
he
going to
did.
assume good.
Probably. Yeah, I would too. I don't know.
No, because, Miss Amy.
Miss Terry.
I don't know why I said Miss Amy.
Well, Miss Amy is a massive piece of the Saban
correct.
team. Miss Amy's awesome, by the way. Talk to her. She reps Jackson Dart, I believe.
Really?
Hey.
Yeah, I believe she is. She's a wet. Miss Amy's an absolute dog.
In Green Bay.
Yeah, I just saw her at the draft.
Everything that Coach Saban has around him is the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is an incredible. That's why his coaching staffs are so good. He's an incredible. I think he has a good eye for talent.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a good eye and judgment for talent. And then that's not just in the coaching business. That's in all of his
Car business.
Great business.
Yeah.
That business is.
I read an article on that. I would highly recommend reading that.
Coach Saban and his ability to read people, figure out what and if, and then make the decision and do it, and then take care of those. The amount of time he invests in everything. I know he was an incredible coach and he invested a lot of time in Alabama, and I assume he would. But then whenever he retires, he has a little bit more free time. I think all of his businesses are also starting to all the others that are, that dude's special. Mm-hmm. Coach Saban is a special person. That's why the rumors that are coming out about him potentially being a part of it, I don't know if that is 100% a thing. I have no idea. I've not been able to, and have chose not to reach out to him. He's got a lot going on, I assume, in his life. I don't know if that's official, but if this was to happen, this thing, there would be no better than this guy. And I think everybody feels that way. That's why whenever this gets reported, everybody's like, oh, yeah, definitely. I don't know if this is I'm not 100% sure if this is 100% a thing from what I'm hearing.
We hope it is.
But we all hope
fingers crossed
that it is a thing. But we do understand that might be an impossible task too. Yeah. Like that's a huge undertaking that you are trying to do with college. That's a huge job. So I just like the fact that that's being thought about. Like the news, if Coach is a part of it, which maybe we're not hearing it's official, but if he is a part of it, great. But the fact that they're thinking about trying to figure this out, that's the big news. Yeah. I think that's good news. College football is obviously in the middle of a wild change. College sports as a whole. We all heard the announcement or read on the internet the announcement that I think mutual friends of ours say that is not official, but would be cool if it was to happen. College commission happening and getting rules and regulations on this. For the people that you talk to in the sport, are they all assuming that this is going to happen? And are they thinking it's going to be sooner than later? What do you think about the guardrails that we're all kind of hoping for? What are the people in the world that you talk to thinking about the realistic expectations of that?
I think realistic expectations, Pat, is a great way to frame it. We all sit around and talk a lot about the issues and the problems, and they're all pretty obvious with college football. And the goal of this presidential commission that's supposed to come together sometime in the next few weeks would be to really sit down and try to solve them. If these were easy issues to fix that didn't weave through labor law and weave through, billion-dollar television contracts and weave through higher education, they probably would have been fixed by now. So I have personally lived through a lot of commissions that were supposed to fix college sports or some aspect of college sports. And I can't tell you right now whether this one, even though the president commissioned it, is going to be more or less qualified to sort of find a place to go for a smooth path forward for college athletics. What is known already is that this commission is not going to all of a sudden be gifted unilateral rights to change the whole landscape. Congress would still be needed to use the great buzzword codify what they're hoping to have happen with the settlement. There's going to be some antitrust help that's going to be needed. There's a lot that is needed, and the commission in a linear fashion is not going to be able to just sit back and say, this is what we're doing, let's execute it.
Yeah, this is what we're doing is going to be a hard thing to get to too. What's the right answer? You're figuring out the right answer and getting everybody that's on said commission to believe that that's the right answer. Then if you think that's the right answer, getting everybody to approve their portion of the right answer, which is going to involve a lot of money, lot of people, lot of, I assume, lawyers, if I had to guess, because there's potentially money being taken away from employees. I mean, this is a huge order. This is kind of where we always end up back at on this particular program whenever we talk about the college guardrails everybody talks about. The amount of things,
I would just say,
the amount of things that have to get fixed, that is,
yes.
If somebody was to sign up for that job, that's it. That is, That is a full-time thing. I think this commission might be tough to find. I think it's going to be tough to find who's going to want to do this.
I would just say this, Pat. It's a multi-billion-dollar business that is, an extremely important part of the fabric of America when you talk about college football, especially, but college athletics in general. And that multi-billion-dollar business sitting here on May, whatever today is, doesn't actually have rules in place for when it's going to essentially restart at a high level in late August. Like there is not a system and a paradigm set up yet for how this multi-billion-dollar business is going to go next year. So it's a very weird moment in time.
That's good.
That speaks to how sort of fraught and complicated the issues are.
Paradigm, good word. You've been dropping on codify, paradigm. I love every time I talk to Pete Thamel, I feel smarter. And in this particular case, feeling smart, you got to have the qualified right people in this position too. Because if they don't know ball or the reality of what it is, it's never going to. I hope. Hey, good luck, whoever does this. We need you. We need you. Go ahead, AJ. I think you have something on it too.
Yeah, Pete. What would you say is the most pressing issue that this committee or these guardrails that are going to be put up? What's the most pressing issue when you talk to coaches and administrators that you think needs to be figured out before anything else?
Yeah, it's a really good question, AJ. And I think there's a ton of macro things that need to be resolved, and then there's obviously going to be some micro things. But I think how they're going to treat the athletes moving forward is probably the most vexing issue. I think we all know it's going to get to some collective bargaining moment in time here. And there's a lot of pushback from that, from campuses, from presidents, employee, non-employee, like all those issues. If they're not going to be employees, do they have protections? I think identifying what college athletes are in the future and how they are going to be treated is probably the single biggest issue going forward. And can you somehow fast forward through years of pain, which we seem to be on the precipice of, and get to some collectively bargained solution? I think that would be like the biggest, most complicated macro issue.
For those that are not great with context clues, vexing means causing annoyance, frustration, or worry, which is what he was just referring to right there. And at a high level, the macro views involve a lot of lawsuits. A lot of them. Yeah. When you say taking care of the players, all those players that are making whatever or are supposed to make whatever, and then if they put just this one generation, because the next generation will understand these are the rules. Like it's when there was a new CBA for the draft. Like when AJ got drafted, these rookies getting drafted, never played a day in the NFL, were getting paid more than 15-year vets with their signing. Matthew Stafford got like $60 million or something in 2009, guaranteed whenever he was the number one overall pick. It was the same draft class as me. I got $45,000, pick 222. Bought an Escalade, didn't get the money for 3 months, almost got Escalade repoed. But nonetheless, that is a lot of people that are going to be losing money potentially whenever these things come in. And there's going to be lawyers that are going to be like, well, we should definitely think about figuring this whole thing out. Who settles that?
Good question.
Well, we still have to settle the settlement first, right, Pat? And that could come as soon as next week. But one thing I've learned on legal issues, this is from Judge Wilkins' courtroom in Northern California. One thing I've learned about, following enough of these legal cases over the years is they don't tend to happen quickly. But this one seems to be on the cusp. Everyone I've talked to in the industry is waiting for the settlement to happen. I don't think there's a plausible chance that it won't. You do talk to some extremists, however, who are almost rooting for it not to happen because then they would actually just have to figure out the rules. What the settlement is, it's almost like a 10-year pause to like, okay, we messed up all this stuff in the back. Let's back pay and fix that. And this gives us like rules of engagement for perhaps 10 years. It is the most temporary of fixes. To think again that a multi-billion-dollar business is relying on the whims of a judge in a Northern California courtroom whose rhetoric indicates she probably doesn't have like 98th level like expertise on how college football and how college sports work. It's a really bad place to have your billion-dollar business when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that ruling. Wasn't that supposed to be in April or something? Did I get punted?
So yes, everyone was expecting to, and quite frankly, the market acted like it was supposed to happen in April. It was April 7th. It was the day of the national championship game. There was some cool kind of confluence of this is the most important day of the NCAA calendar because obviously CFP is not under the NCAA umbrella, and here's this month. But it was just a hearing. It wasn't a ruling, and I think people knew that that hearing would give some clarity in the future, but it is given way to more hearings and more filings, and perhaps next week a ruling.
Okay, shout out to any billionaire that would like to adopt West Virginia. It feels like we're going to at least have another season of what it has been, at least another season. Because when you talk about like all we really know from outsiders of the law world is that it takes forever, right? And that like the only thing we really know about, and it's like they're not fast passing college football either for everything else that is happening. It's like this is law, rule of law. I'm intrigued by it all. How does it end up panning out? Because we thought last year it was going to get ruined by everything. And it was big. It was very big. Obviously, the college football playoff, bigger than it's ever been before. People loved the ratings. I think we're up on everything. It's like college football is great. But will it be able to sustain years and years and years like it has with the way it's going, with the who's where, who's what, and then how much everybody's – and does this booster not want to do it anymore? So now they fall off. It's like – there has to be something, but there's so many questions.